press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello dear students, let me continue part 11 lecture from work energy power. Okay, so up to now in part last sessions I covered work and some concepts, energy and few concepts we covered, and last class power and some other concepts are covered. Okay, now and one more. Collisions also started, I think. Yeah, collisions also started. So in a collisions we know there are two types of collisions. One is elastic collision, another one is inelastic collision, and we derived some equations. We got a relative velocity of approach before the collision, which is equivalent to relative velocity of separation after the collision. That is u1 minus u2 is equal to v2 minus v1. Okay, and anyhow I covered some v1 formula, v2 formula, some concepts also covered. Fraction of kinetic energy retained by m1 and fraction of kinetic energy transferred by m1 particle to the m2 particle. Of course we calculated momentum also, okay, in case of elastic collision. Okay, now see the next one. Next one is coefficient of restitution. See the topic name, coefficient of restitution. So this concept is useful to solve problems for entrances and for board exams. Okay, so this concept means only formulas are important. Okay, formulas are important, derivations no one will ask. So this concept is used to solve some problems. Let us see what is this coefficient of restitution. So write down the heading, coefficient of restitution we can represent with a small e symbol. Small e symbol. Write down the heading, coefficient of restitution. Generally it is the degree of elasticity. Okay, the meaning of coefficient of restitution is it is used to measure the degree of elasticity. Okay, means the body have some e values. Let me write everything in order wise. Yeah. And see, generally coefficient of restitution we can define as the ratio of relative velocity of separation after the collision to the relative velocity of approach before the collision. See, this is the basic definition. Okay, it is the degree of elasticity. Coefficient of restitution is nothing but the degree of elasticity. Okay, based on that e value we can decide whether the bodies are elastic or inelastic. Okay, for elastic collision there will be a value. I am going to write it now. So keep in mind it is the ratio of relative velocity of separation after the collision to the relative velocity of approach before the collision. Anyhow we know v2 minus v1 is what? It is the relative velocity of separation after the collision. u1 minus u2 is relative velocity of approach before the collision. Okay, and see, generally for elastic collisions, so keep the points in mind. Elastic collision e value is 1. If you substitute e is equal to 1, then you will get u1 minus u2 is equals to v2 minus v1. That anyhow we verified in the last classes. So for a perfectly elastic collision, otherwise for a elastic collision e is 1, e value is 1. Okay, and for a perfectly inelastic collision, perfectly inelastic collision e value 0 is 0. For semi-elastic collision, otherwise inelastic. For semi-elastic collision, E value lies in between 0 and 1. So these points are important for entrance point of view. E is equals to 1, basic case level questions. E is equal to 1 for elastic collision or perfectly elastic collision. Perfectly inelastic collision, E value is 0. For semi-elastic nature collisions, value lies in between. E value lies in between 0 less than E less than 1. Okay. So this is the basic definition. What is the definition? It is the relative velocity of separation after the collision to the relative velocity of approach before the collision. Now let me extend some formulas. Okay, all the formulas are used to solve problems from any books or assignments. Let me get the equation. Okay, no need of proof, just I'll show how equations will come, that's it. Okay, so no need to worry about the proof, at least you concentrate on formulas. Okay, let me derive the equation, one more equation. See, to derive coefficient of restitution between the two bodies, to derive coefficient of restitution between two bodies, then here I will take one body is like a huge plate. I am taking two bodies because coefficient of restitution is possible in between two bodies. Let me consider one body is a huge plate. Otherwise, see, this is the plate, a huge plate or a ground, that's better. One is ground. One body is ground. And another one, let me take it as a one spherical ball. Any one particle, any one body of mass something m. So another one I am taking as something mass m. Mass m. Okay, now my target is I want to get the equation for these two bodies. What equation I want to get? Coefficient of restitution equation. Okay, so here this body moves with a speed something u1, anyhow starts from rest. So let me consider it moves with a speed u1. U1 is the speed of the body before the collision, means before going to hit, the speed we have u1. Okay, it falls from a height something h. Okay, directly I can write. Okay, let me extend, no problem. So what is u1? u1 is the velocity of particle m before the collision, and see, once it collides it will rebound. Okay, because of based on the nature of the ground floor, the ball will rebound. You feel that is a ball. If it is a plastic ball, rebound more. Tennis ball, some other. Cork ball, some other. See, based on the mass of the ball, based on the nature of the floor, the ball will rebound to certain height. Okay, sometimes may not rebound. If any iron ball falls from some height, it will stick to the floor. So let us decide. Let us suppose this will rebound to certain height. Let me write here like this. Okay, it will rebound to here, or in the same manner it will rebound. Okay, if it falls perpendicularly, no doubt it will rebound in the same opposite. Okay, I will draw, for understanding point of view, I will draw little right side. Okay, let us suppose this will rebound to a height h1. Okay, it will rebound exactly like this only because perpendicular. You know, if a ball hits a wall normally, then again the ball will comes to the back side in the same direction, means opposite to the it will come out with a negative speed, but direction is same. Okay, if it hits a wall, it will come in the same direction, in opposite side. Okay, anyhow h1, and see, this ball will have some speed. Let me write speed is v1. What is that v1? What is u1? u1, v1 are the velocities of the ball before and after collision. What are u1, v1? u1, v1 are the velocities of the ball before striking the floor and after striking the floor, after the collision. Okay, after the collision, before the collision and after the collision. What are u1 v1? u1 v1 for m. And what about the ground? Ground also have some speed? No, because the ground is at rest only comparing to this. So let us consider u2 for a ground 0 before the collision, v2 for a ground 0. Before the collision, speed of the ground is u2, ground is at rest. After the collision, speed of the ground is v2 I am considering now. v2 is also 0. So u2, v2 I am taking 0. Now coming to the formula. What is our formula? E is equals to v2 minus v1 by u1 minus u2. E is equal to 0 minus v1 by u1 minus 0. E is equal to, you are getting some velocity ratio, u1 v1 by u1. What is v1 u1? Just recall the kinematics. If a ball falls from certain height, of course ball starts from u is equal to 0. Before going to hit the ground, it will have some velocity v. That velocity you know, root 2gh. Like v square minus u square is equal to 2as. V square, u square is 0, 2a, a is g, s is nothing but h. You know the formula, v is equal to root 2gh. Here v, before going to hit the floor, v nothing but u1. So we can write minus as it is. What is this u1? Root 2gh. Is it correct? What is u1? This u1 is the velocity of the ball before going to hit, before the collision, before going to hit the floor, before the collision. So this u1 is nothing but root 2gh. So root 2gh. What about v1? v1 also root 2gh1. h1 is the height. Okay, you take this diagram in this direction. For understanding point of view, I draw little right side. Okay. v1 is also what? Root of 2g h1. But v1 is opposite to u1. Let us take negative sign. v1 is opposite to u1. So let us take negative sign. Okay, you have some basic knowledge in the laws of motion. If a ball hits normally, come out v1, v is minus u. Like that we have taken. Minus into minus plus, 2g cancel. What is the e? E is equals to, I got h1 by h. See, one more equation I got it now. Okay, if I extend so many equations I will get. So, what is the coefficient of restitution when a ball falls from a height of h and rebounds to something h1? E is equals to root of h1 by h. Okay, for suppose if they ask a ball falls from a height of 1 meter, a ball falls from a height of 1 meter and rebounds to a height of 0.64 meter. Okay, ball falls from a height of 1 meter. Okay, means this is 1 meter, rebounds to a height of 0.64 meter. Then what is the coefficient of restitution between the ball and the floor if they ask? Direct formula. No one will ask these derivations. So keep the formula in mind. Then if ball falls from a height of 1 meter, this is h and 0.64 is a h1, then root of h1 by 0.64 by 1, 0.64 by 1 means 0.8. See, the value is 0.8. That is a semi-elastic collision because the value lies in between 0 and 1, 0.8 I am getting. Okay. So if they given height ratio, if the ball falls from something 1 meter, rebounds to a height of 0.64, then we can find the E value. So this is the way after first rebound. Okay, they ask you to find the coefficient of restitution between ball and floor is something 0.8. Coefficient of restitution, just listen my words, coefficient of restitution between ball and floor is something given 0.8. Following the question, 0.8 they given, no need to read, just listen, 0.8. And ball falls from a height of 1 meter. Ball falls from a height of 1 meter. Coefficient of restitution is given between ball and the floor is something 0.8. After first rebound, you know 0.64 like previous data. After second rebound, tell me how to find this one. After means again the ball reaches a height of 0.64. Again from 0.64 to the ball will reaches the floor. Again comes back. Will it comes back to the 0.64? No, because there will be some inelastic nature in between them, ball and floor. If it is a perfect elastic, if it is a perfectly elastic, if you got E as a 1, how you will get E as a 1? If a ball falls from 1 meter, again rebounds to 1 meter, because H1, H value must be equal, rebounds to the same height, then how much you will get E? How much you will get E? 1. 1 means what? Perfectly elastic collision. For a perfectly elastic collision, if the ball dropped from a height of 1 meter, again it will come to the 1 meter height. Okay, but is it perfect? No, it is an inelastic or semi-elastic collision. So first time it is coming to a height of 0.64. Next time maybe we don't know, maybe 0.5, 0.4 or 0.3, 0.2, 0.1 something. Finally the ball will comes to rest. So what is our next target is, we have to find, means in the second rebound at what height the ball will reach, in the third rebound at what height the ball will go, fourth rebound, fifth rebound, nth rebound where it will be, after nth rebound where is the ball, and see finally the ball is going to comes to rest on the floor. I dropped a ball from this much of height, 1 meter, let us suppose. So next it is comes to something 0.64, next 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, finally comes to rest. Okay, now our target is to find out what is the height attained by the body after a third rebound, after a fourth rebound, fifth rebound, nth rebound also I am going to find. So these questions are somewhat good questions. Okay, let me continue this concept in detailed. Write down these basics first. Let me continue this concept little bit more. In NCERT nothing is given, just I am going to extend everything now. Follow all these formulas and to enjoy the problem. Okay, just solve the problem from assignment or any other things. See, for perfectly elastic collision, what is H1 H? Same. If ball dropped from a 1 meter height, rebounds to 1 meter height, H1 H will be same for a perfectly elastic collision. If it is a perfectly inelastic collision, perfectly inelastic, see the same. If it is a perfectly elastic, H1 H are same. Inelastic if they given, perfectly inelastic, ball falls from a height of 1 H meter, will it rebound? No, there is no rebound, because the ball stick to the floor. Like iron ball, if it is dropped from some height, it will stick to the floor. Perfectly inelastic collision. So H1 is 0, there is no height, there is no rebound. If you drop an iron ball on a floor, will it rebound? On a sand floor, will it rebound? No. Okay, now let me extend some equations, very easy equations. I am going to show you everything with derivations and use the final formulas to solve some problems. Yeah. So let me write the heading: equations of height attained by a freely falling body after n number of rebounds. So formulas are important and concept you try to follow it. Okay, no need to by heart the concept, no need for board point of view. Just you feel the concept, that's it. Very easy thing. See, a ball of mass m which is falls from a height h. Okay, let us suppose a ball of mass m falls from a height h onto the floor, and no doubt after first rebound it will rebounds to some other height, let us suppose h1. Again next it falls from where, at what height it will fall, h1 height it will fall. Again it will rebounds to a height of h2. Next it starts from h2 height, again it will reaches to some h3, h4, h5, h6, h7, so on. So see, for understanding point of view, let me draw the diagram like this. See, this is the ball. Yeah, ball falls. Yeah, it's clear. Okay, so ball of something mass m falls from a height of h, falls from a height of h, and next it will rebounds to the h1. In the same direction only it will rebound. Okay, in the same direction it will rebound, but let me draw little bit like this. Let us suppose, for understanding point of view, I am drawing here now. So this is rebounds to a height of h2, h2. So this is the h, let us take this is h1. What is h1? Height after first rebound. Now we know anyhow, so E is equals to, for this case, tell me now, for this case E is equal to, what is the formula? Second height by first height. Just now I derived. E is equals to h1 by h. E is equals to h1 by h. Squaring on both sides. E square is equals to h1 by h. h1 is equals to E square h. What is this h1? What is the h1? Height of the body after first rebound. What is this h1? This is the height of the body, height of the body after first rebound. Okay, h1 calculated. Now again it starts from where? It starts from h1 height. Okay, I drawn little right side just to make it clear the picture, that's it. Okay, actually everything will be done in the same direction, like this only. H, h1, h1, h2, h3, h4, like this only, but I drawn little right side. So what is this? It falls from what height? h1 height. Again rebounds to something h2, h2. Then tell me the coefficient of restitution between these two. Okay, for the first two, h1 by h. For the next two, okay, so anyhow h1 I got it. h1 I got it, E square h. Okay, similarly after second rebound, let me write small here, after second rebound, E is equals to, tell me, shall I write like this, h2 by h1, second height by first height. If it falls from h height, rebounds to a h1, h1 by h. Now it falls from h1 height, rebounds to h2, h2 by h1. Next h3 by h2, h4 by h3. This is the way simple. h2 by h1. Let me extend. So if you do the square, E square is equal to what? h2 by h1. Okay, therefore what is h2? E square h1. h2 is equals to E square. What is h1? h1 we got it just now. E square h. Then h2 is equals to e to the power of 4. Shall I write 2 into 2? Of course 2 into 2 nothing but 4. You can write e power 4. I am writing e power 2 into 2. Means we can expect the next one. So next one starts from h2, rebounds to h3. Again next starts from h3, rebounds to h4. See, after third rebound, tell me what is E? E is equal to root of H3 by H2. Root of H3 by H2. So H3 by H2. H3 is equal to E square H2. H2 you substitute this. H3 you substitute, H2 you substitute this. Then if you substitute this value, you will get 2 into 3 you will get. Means 6 you will get. E power 6. E square. E power 4. Next E power 6. E power 6 shall I write it as a E power 2 into 3. 2 into 3. Next E power 2 into 4. E power 3. 2 into 5. 2 into 6. 2 into 7. After n rebounds. After n rebounds. Rebounds. We can write Hn e power 2 into n h. See, this is the nth rebound formula. Height attained by the ball after n rebounds. If they given one rebound, h1 e power 2 into 1 into h, h1 e power 2 h, h1. Second rebound, h2 e power 2 into 2, nothing but 4, e power 4 into h. Third rebound, h3 e power 2 into 3, nothing but e power 6 h. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, so on. After n number of rebounds, the body attained this much of height. Okay, so this is the height attained by the body after n number of rebounds. And no doubt, after n number of rebounds, the body is going to comes to rest. Finally, the ball will comes to rest on the floor. Starts from 1 meter height, rebounds to 0.64, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.1, 0.001, finally 0. 0 means what? Where is the body? Body is on floor. That means the body comes to rest. Let us see. At what distance it is going to travel before coming to rest? First, got the height. If they ask the question after third rebound, what is the formula? H3 e power 2 into 3, nothing but e power 6 into h. Is the equations these are? Okay, completed. Actually 5-10 minutes is sufficient to complete this topic, sir. I am taking huge time to understand everyone clearly. So, got the Hn e power 2n into h. If they ask you to find height attained by the body after 4th rebound, what formula you are going to use? After 4th rebound, h4 e power 8 into h. Ball, they will give the starting height. Okay. Now let us extend this one. Completed this. Let me extend. Let me rub this. Let us find how much distance travelled by the body before coming to rest on the floor. Means after n number of rebounds. See what's my next target is. Next target formula, distance travelled. Write on the heading, distance travelled by this body, means by a body, distance travelled by a body before coming to rest. Before coming to rest after n number of rebounds. After n number of rebounds. What is the distance it is going to cover? Distance means the line along the body, means the body has to move in the direction. If they ask you to find the displacement, displacement is very clear because the ball falls from a height of h. Finally, the ball is on the floor. What is the gap between initial and final? Capital H. But they are asking distance. Displacement is capital H according to our diagram. They are asking distance. Distance means you have to calculate this h plus h1 plus one more h1. Everything you have to add it because it is a scalar and it is a always positive. First, it covers how much distance? So, total distance covered before coming to rest. Let me write here. S is equals to, I am writing S. First, H. Next, H1. Again, downside, H1. Don't subtract this one because this is the distance. Next, moves to the H2. Next, coming to the H2. Next, H3. So on. Hn. This is the distance covered. Some equations you will get. Okay. So I am using some basic mathematics here now. S is equals to H plus 2 H1, 2 H2, 2 H3, so on to Hn. Okay, I am using some simple mathematics. At least you target the final formula. H plus 2 if you take common, H1 plus H2 plus H3, so on Hn. Okay, let me write 2 as it is. What is H1? Remember, I think E square H. What is H1? E square H plus H2 e power 2 into 2, nothing but 4. What is H2? E power 2 into 2 into H. E power 2 into 2 nothing but e power 4. H3 e power 2 into 3 nothing but 6. H, so on. Okay, 2 into e power 2n into H. Okay, some binomial equation I am getting here now, some mathematical equations here. Okay, everywhere H is common, you write outside. This is 1. I am using so many steps, directly we can write 2 e square, 2 e power 4, 2 e power 6, so on to e power n. Okay, leave the last term, no problem. That is n term. S is equals to H 1 plus, let us take 2 e square common from here, 2 e square. If I take 2 e square common from this onwards, this becomes 1. This is e square, this is e power 4. Just multiply this one, 2 e square. 2 e square into e square, 2 e power 4. 2 e square into e power 4, 2 e power 6. So, got the same. This equation, this is like some binomial equation like 1 plus, okay, in mathematics I am using one equation, 1 plus x square plus so on x cube, which is equivalent to 1 by 1 minus x. This is the formula, 1 by 1 minus x, otherwise 1 minus x whole inverse, 1 by 1 minus x. What is x here? X is e square. So just you compare with that formula, s is equals to h 1 plus 2 e square. This term I am replacing with 1 by 1 minus x. 1 by 1 minus x means e square. So simple mathematics only. So let me write this step here. Okay, I am going to write here s is equals to, let me write here, s is equals to h into 1 is as it is 2 e square by 1 minus e square. Okay, so this is 2 e square into 1 by 1 minus e square, multiply left side. Okay, let me write one more step. Okay, 1 plus 2 e square by 1 minus e square, take this 1 minus e square left. So let me write one step here, 1 minus e square plus 2 e square by 1 minus e square. Do the simple calculation. Here I am multiplying this 1 minus e square to the left. So 1 minus e square plus 2 e square divided by 1 minus e square. Now you will get s is equals to h into 1 plus e square by 1 minus e square. See, this is the distance travelled by the body before coming to rest after n number of rebounds. Okay, derivations are your interest, but the target the formula. What is the formula? What is that? Yes, it is the distance travelled by a freely falling body after n number of rebounds. Means before coming to rest, after n number of rebounds. Anyhow written, distance travelled by a body before coming to rest after n rebounds. So if it is falls from 1 meter height, h is 1 meter. Definitely there will be E value. If the coefficient of restitution between ball and floor is something 0.5, this is 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 0.5 square, 1 minus 0.5 square, you will get some number, that number which is equivalent to S. Nothing but distance travelled by a body before coming to rest after n number of rebounds. So some simple mathematics I used here. So check this mathematics, otherwise at least you concentrate on this formula. First PUC students, okay? Completed. Now let me find how much time it will take before coming to rest. Okay, how much time it is going to take before coming to rest. And how much velocity it is going to take before coming to rest. Means what is the velocity after nth rebound, velocity of the body after third rebound, everything we are going to find. Next, let us find time. Yeah, let me rub this one. Let me find the time, total time taken by the body before coming to rest. Write on the next note, means formula is important. Total time taken by the body before coming to rest after a number of rebounds. Total time taken by the body before coming to rest. Before coming to rest. Of course, after a number of rebounds. Okay. Finally, the ball is going to stop after a number of rebounds. So, how much time it is going to take? How much the total time from starting to ending? Okay, we can find time taken by the ball or a body before coming to rest. So, very simple equation this one. Directly also we can write, but let us see. Anyhow, ball falls from a height of h. Okay, ball falls from a height of h, and see, as the body falls freely, then this will have some time of descent. Let us take the time is something, it will take some time t. Let me take small t, capital T, that's not a problem, small t. What is this t? Time taken by the ball from here to here, nothing but time of descent, nothing but root of 2h by g. And next, it will take some time to reach this height, correct or not? This time is different from this time. Let us take t1 to reach this height. If it is t1, what about from here to here? t1, time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Next, this time is t2, this time is t2, t3, t4, t4. Then you can expect the direct t is equals to total time, which is equivalent to starting from here to here is t. Next, t1 plus t1. Next, t2 plus t2. Next, t3, so on. simple. Starts from here, T, next to T1, T1, T2, T2, T3, T3, like that. Okay. Means in T1 seconds, the ball reaches a height of h1. Again, ball starts from h1 height. Again, how much time it will take? h1 time means, h1 height means, again it will take the same time, T1, T2, T2, T3, T3, so on. Now, T is equals to T plus 2 T1, 2 T2, 2 T3, so on. Just to see the equations now. T plus 2, let me write here direct. Let me convert this T into heights. What is this T? Root of 2h by g. This is 2h1 by g. This is h2 by g. h3 by g. T is equals to root of 2h by g, 2 into 2. What is h1? E square h by g. Directly we can write E times of T. Okay, anyhow I didn't read E times. Okay, no problem, let me continue. This is lengthy. h1 is E square h, 2 into h2 e power 4 into h, 2 into e power 6 into h. See, T is equals to 2h by g, 2h by g, 2h by g, everywhere constant, same, you write outside, same, 2h by g is common, this becomes 1, this becomes 1, 2, 1 root of e square, 2e, root of e power 4, 2 e square, root of e power 6, 2 e cube, and see, simple mathematics I am using now, T is equals to, directly we can write, this is e times e square times e cube times, directly we can write 1 plus, if I take 2 common, 2e common, this is 1 plus e plus e square plus e cube. Just you check the simple calculations here. I am taking 2e common, this is 1, 2e into e, 2e square, 2e into e square, 2e cube, so on. Again, this equation is like a 1 plus x square, so on. That is can be written as 1 by 1 minus x. Okay, 1 by 1 minus x. So let me write here one more step. Is it visible? Root of 2h by g, 1 plus 2e, this is 1 plus x square, so 1 by 1 minus x. Okay, don't say visible. Yeah. So let me write here, again the same step I am writing at this place. T is equals to root of 2h by g, take LCM, inside is 1, so this is 1, 2e by 1 minus e, 2e by 1 minus e, so after LCM 1 minus e plus 2e by 1 minus e. Now I am getting root of 2h by g, 1 plus e by 1 minus e. This is the time taken, total time taken by the ball before coming to rest on a floor after n number of rebounds. Okay, don't worry about these calculations, this is nothing. Okay, I used just simple mathematics, taken 2h by g common. Okay, so practice at least once or twice, it is easy, it's not a tough. And this is like a 1 plus x square, so on, nothing but 1 by 1 minus x, 1 by 1 minus x, 1 by 1 minus e. 1 minus e you multiply here, 1 minus e plus 2e by 1 minus e, you will get root of 2h by g, 1 plus e by 1 minus e. Okay, generally t we can write e times of previous time. So we got S, we got T. What is S? Distance. T, total time. Once we know distance and total time, we will get average speed. Of course, we will get average velocity also. That also let me continue. This T1 we can write E times of T, T2 E square times. Completed. So we got the distance, we got total time. Now let me find average velocity, average speed in this situation. So simple mathematics, no need to worry, at least you focus on formulas and apply these formulas to get some problems, okay? So please take the screenshot if time is not sufficient. I am spending huge time from my side actually. Okay, no problem. Let me write equation for average speed. Average speed. So V average. Nothing but what? Total distance travelled by the ball before coming to rest after n number of rebounds to the total time taken. So total distance travelled by total time taken. Now tell me the previous formula. Total distance travelled is yes. What is the formula? H into 1 plus E square by 1 minus E square. And what is the T? T is root of 2 H by G 1 plus E by 1 minus E. Just simplify, you will get one more step. Okay, see. V average, which is equivalent to 2. Take this root G to the top and here H is there. So let me write this as G by G H by 2. Okay. This is root H into root H. One root H cancelled. G come to the top, root of G H by 2. Simple thing. And this 1 plus E square, 1 minus E square, let me write 1 minus E square, let me write 1 minus E, 1 plus E divided by 1 plus E, 1 minus E. So 1 minus E cancelled, then you will get root of G H by 2 1 plus E square by 1 plus E whole square. Check it. 1 plus E into 1 plus E, that is 1 plus E. Downside is 1 plus E whole square. In the numerator is 1 plus E square. So this is average speed. Let me find average velocity. So average velocity nothing but displacement by total time. Displacement is how much? H. Displacement is H. Displacement starts at a H height, ends on floor, means what is the gap between initial and final point? Displacement is H. Distance we got it. Displacement is H and time we got it as root of 2 H by G 1 plus E by 1 minus E. Now average velocity I am getting root of G H by 2 1 minus E by 1 plus E. Practice the formulas like this. In the same manner, let me write the magnitude of velocity after one rebound, after two rebounds, three rebounds, four rebounds. Yeah, got average velocity and average speed. Then let us get the magnitude of velocity after first rebound, after second, third, fourth, n rebounds. Magnitude of velocity. So to get the magnitude of velocity, after n rebounds. Say, let us suppose the ball falls from a height, anyhow it falls from a height h, and before going to hit the floor, let me take velocity is v. I am considering v. Okay, you can consider u, that's not a problem. Let me get the equation in one way. V. What is v? It falls with a speed v, rebounds with a speed v1. Again, it falls with what speed? v1 speed. Got it? v1, v2, v1 and same height v1, and this is v2. So v1, v2. So finally, you will get coefficient of restitution is, anyhow this is the floor nothing but u2 0, v2 0. Just use direct one formula. What is our formula? v2 minus v1 by u1 minus u2. Just you recall the previous formula. v2 for a floor 0, v1 is the velocity of the ball after the collision. After the collision means after hitting the floor. So v1. u1 is the velocity of the ball before going to hit the floor. What is u1? u1 is v. Okay, u1 is v minus 0. Anyhow, here the ball is moving up with a minus v1. So let me write this is minus v1. Then you are getting E is equal to what? v1 by v. v1 is equal to EV. So what is this v1? Velocity of the ball after first rebound. Okay, and similarly, let me write fast now. Similarly, v2 e square v, v3 e cube v, vn e power n into v. So this is the formula. If they ask you to find velocity after third rebound, v3 is equals to e power 3 into v. After n rebounds, vn is equal to e power n into v. Okay. So velocity calculated, vn is equals to e power n into v.